So they were really growing. They were learning as they went, and it's a miracle they didn't have. It's a miracle the whole project even survived because they went many, many years without having a fatality from the jumping side of things that actually happened until I really think the first actual jumping fatality was the one that happened in Fairbanks in '66. And I don't think given the primitiveness of the equipment and the newness of the operation and the kinds of country they were jumping in, it's a miracle it didn't happen early and they didn't shut it down. I still marvel at the fact that it was able to survive, which is really a testament not only to the people that were putting it together, they also had no clue as to what could be problems. I mean, they had very professional barnstormer type proficient parachute people. But when you're talking about the altitudes that we were, I don't even know what altitudes they were jumping at back then when they were actually free falling at that time before static line deployment. Uh, I don't know how we ever arrived at getting to the level that in our period we were somewhere theoretically between 1,000 and 1,500 feet. And they were doing the same thing with what they called the Eagle parachutes, which they weren't even steerable. So how they didn't kill somebody is far and away beyond me. Snags and falling out and breaking out of snags and collapsing chutes and landing on rocks and the kinds of things they did. If the normal world had happened, it never would have seen the light of day. It would have been shut down. Everything they did with those suits that they developed happened because somebody got hurt. By my time, which is early '60s, when I'd started, I mean, they were bulletproof, I thought. We all felt that way. Nobody ever questioned where we were, except that they were slow in adapting to technology changes in parachutes. And the mentality was assume every jumper, this is even when they got the steerable chutes, which were poorly steerable. That's what they wanted. They wanted them to be more like cargo and depend on the spotter in the airplane who's kicking them out to take the drift and get into land, which is another reason why they jump lower, so you're not spending so much time in the air. There's quite a few people that are just not coordinated, good athletes that don't belong running a parachute. And so I think that's been a lot of the Forest Service's problem, besides the accidents they had when they were adapting to the new Ram Air parachutes. You know, they had some really, really good technical people, but most of that was out of Alaska, even though they were originally Missoula jumpers, a couple of them. But they were really, really good. And so then they moved back into that thing because you could really hurt yourself. You could pretty much control the situation with up to 10, 15 miles an hour of wind. And after that, you're not supposed to go. We all knew of spotter types and old time jumpers would say, you're going to go no matter what. And they would take you from your 1,000 feet down to 700 feet to 600 feet. And you go. But that's to eliminate the drift so you don't come back so fast. But there's always one or two people in a program every year. I won't say in every load or a DC-3 load full of jumpers, but it might even be closer to right, who just don't get it and never do. And so if you take one of these Ram Air parachutes and turn around with its 20-mile-an-hour forward speed and then some, and have them turn around and go with the wind, they can be doing 40 or 50 miles an hour when they hit the ground or a tree or whatever they hit. So I'm sure that was the thought process and the philosophy, is just get them out. Don't let them screw up too bad. Give them enough steerability where they can stay out of hanging up in a tree. And if they're doing things the right way, it'll get them there. If they do things the wrong way, they won't get beat up bad. So I know that's Forest Service was that way. BLM went the other way because in Alaska your altitude is much lower. You're damn near close to sea level. Virtually everywhere that there's trees or tundra or whatever, you're there, and you can handle trees that are 8 to 15 feet high. Small, been there 200 years and they're an inch across. They're not going to hurt you. They look like it from the air, but when you get down there, so you can use a lot greater. Plus, they also have a lot of water. And it looks like northern Minnesota up there, and so you got lakes, ponds everywhere. So to have the ability, if you were misspotted or the drift changed or whatever it was, and you're out over one of those lakes, you can get away from it with these kinds of chutes they have now. They are much safer. The training period is longer, but I think it's as it should be in a proper development.